Dr. Maggio is back, but he doesn't look like Henry Darrow anymore. Considering the series had just been canceled and this was the last episode, I'm going to go with they couldn't afford him.
Nurse, I'm Dr. Maggio. I was told to report.
Dr. Maggio?
Yes, I was told to report.
Yes, we know. Do you mind?
Oh, if it's necessary.
May I see credentials?
Credentials?
I'm sorry, you are who and this is your business how?
Dr. Maggio, do you know who I am?
Of course. Even your shadow is world famous. Chairman Rogin of the Eastern Bloc Alliance.
Okay, if he's that high up in the Eastern Bloc, no wonder he has an entire division of bodyguards. Those guys think their own paranoia is plotting against them. But this one has what seems to be a good reason.
This just came in on the teletype. I thought you should both see it.
It's from Nick.
He's at the Klempner Clinic in Chicago.
Requires surgical assistance from Dr. Dan Westin and Nurse Kate Westin immediately. Nurse? Third floor, Klempner Clinic. Hurry. This is a most delicate operation.
Well then, off to Chicago. The fact that he called Kate a nurse tells them something is up, so just go with it.
I'm sorry, sir. No admittance.
We were told to report to the third floor.
Oh, perhaps the convalescent ward. This corridor is private.
No,
All
I
of it.
don't think so. My name is Dr. Westin. This is Nurse Westin, my wife. We're here to assist Dr. Maggio.
More American doctors?
Yes, we received a telegram from Dr. Maggio.
Oh, yes. These are the people he sent for to aid him with the surgery.
The security guy tells them that's Dr. Stoloff, his personal physician, except they still don't know who him is. The only way they can find out is from Nick, but that's okay because all three of them are confined to the waiting area for now anyway. Dr. Stoloff is played by Ina Balin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She wanted to be an actress pretty much from birth. Her chief talent was doing ethnic parts like this one. She could give you just about any accent you wanted and you couldn't tell it from the real thing. Studios used her a lot in that capacity, and as a result, she never really found a breakout role that made her a household name. She worked in relative obscurity for a long time, always turning in top-notch performances and winning several awards along the way. And then came Vietnam. In 1970, she toured the country with a USO troupe, and what she saw changed her life forever. She joined the board of an orphanage in Saigon and went back to the country several times to help look after the children of war. When the United States finally pulled out in 1975, she was right there helping to evacuate the 219 children that ultimately made it out. As quick as they got stateside, she adopted 3 of them. She kept acting, but it wasn't nearly as important to her anymore. Her family was it. She cared for them until her untimely death at the age of 52. She never achieved movie or TV fame, but there are a couple hundred people who have gotten to have lives who will never forget her.
My presence in your country is an absolute secret. I took a grave risk to come here. Imagine the uproar in the newspapers, on television.
Doesn't your entourage give you away?
We are here on diplomatic passports from one of our satellite countries.
Nick is telling the story to Dan and Kate. He's being careful what he says because he knows there are goons listening at the door. He asks the chairman, why come here? Your country has excellent surgeons. He says, we don't have anybody who can do what I want.
My country does not permit our leaders, not even the premier, to become too popular. A likable individual like myself can easily become an object of worship, more powerful than the party. It's called the cult of the personality.
I'm sorry, I'm just a dumb American. We don't do that cult of personality thing here. Could you explain a little more about what that is?
However, it is necessary to be extremely popular in order to stay in power. I believe in the cult of my personality.
But why an operation? How can an operation make you popular?
I can't believe Nick hasn't figured it out yet. I'll bet Henry Darrow would have it by now. Rogin explains that too many officials in his country, especially military types, are telling the people that he's old and senile and ready to be put out to pasture. which wouldn't be so bad, but the people are starting to buy it.
You want me to give you
A facelift.
A facelift?
You know, it makes sense. It's kind of like being the top lion in the pride until you start to get old and lose your teeth, and the next thing you know, every young punk with an attitude wants to challenge you and take your place. It's no different with dictators. One reason the Soviet Union collapsed so easily is because everybody running it was pushing 90 except Gorbachev, and he couldn't do it all alone. Basically, the Supreme Soviet held on to power until their feeble, trembling hands couldn't grasp it anymore. And when they couldn't, there was nobody to take their place because none of them had ever trusted the ambitious young bucks who were coming up through the ranks. So when the people finally said enough and pushed Boris Yeltsin into power, there was nothing left to oppose him. Our man Rogin insists that Nick needs to do this for him so he can stay in power because he's a friend to the West, while those who want to oust him are not. He says if he loses power, it could threaten world peace. Nick still isn't convinced, but let's see what Rogin is willing to do for this.
Dr. Maggio, please, name your price.
all right? Increase your contribution to the UN. Stop shipping arms to the Near East and free your political prisoners.
Now, wait a minute.
Take it or leave it.
I stand corrected. Henry Darrow could not have done any better. Good enough for the rest of the series. Charles Aidman is Nick Maggio. And by the way, Rogin will take it, including the need for 2 specialists from California.
And I must come out at least looking 20 years younger.
10.
15. 12. All right, 10.
Without Dermaplex, even Nick can't pull off that kind of miracle. On the other hand, if he made him a Dermaplex mask, he could make him look like anything he wanted. Everything was all set. He had just given Rogin a sedative so he'd be nice and refreshed for surgery in the morning. And then she came in.
Chordzniet. Sasha, why did you lie to me? I have a right to know.
Katerina, what are you doing here?
The question is, what are you doing here? If it had not been for your travel officer, I would never have found you.
I don't think you would understand.
She doesn't care. She's throwing fits so fast she can't throw them right. She demands to know who Nick is and what he gave the chairman. He's scheduled for a sinus transplant, which is one of the clinic's specialties. She doesn't believe it.
In 5 hours, he will be coming out of this, Dr. Maggio. Then we shall see what he has to say. Kurt, Sorge, take the doctor to a waiting room and see that he does not leave.
Just let me get my bag.
And that brings them up to date. He's been sitting there for the past 5 hours. Nick won't walk away because he promised Rogin he'd do it. That's something the Doctors Westin can get behind.
What if he's right? What if it is necessary to world peace?
Well, it's a rare opportunity, Dr. Maggio.
I think the old boy deserves a lift.
Then you'll help me?
Is Lenin Square red?
As Rudolph's nose.
I'm kind of scratching my head at that one, too. I mean, it makes sense in sort of a run that by me again way. They need more information, so Daniel will go get it.
You are absolutely certain of his registry? Dr. Nick Maggio? G.G.I.O. Thank you.
Stop ogling her legs, Daniel. You're on the clock. She goes into Rogin's room and he comes clean about what he's doing there. She won't have it. She doesn't think it's necessary. But he says, my mind is made up.
I'm sorry, Katrina.
Sasha, please look around you. This is an American hospital. You have less than 1/8 of your Secret Service with you. No one knows who you are, where you are, what you are doing. Who can you trust? It is insanity.
I'm safe because no one knows.
Who can he trust? Obviously, he can't trust her because she draws up a sedative and pumps it into him before he realizes what she's doing. She says, "You'll wake up back home and we'll talk about it then." Now who's treating him like he's senile? She really does adore him and dotes on him something awful, but her adoration needs to include a healthy dose of respect for his wishes.
Anyway, I've Vasil and Korshak, my two most trusted men.
Do they know about the facelift?
No, but they will protect me with their lives. I can trust them.
Remember, he said that. Vasil is the tall guy with the glasses who stopped the Westins.
What is the meaning of this, Doctor?
I was given strict instructions by the chairman himself. He is not to leave this hospital until the operation is performed.
I am sorry, comrade. That is now impossible. The chairman has taken ill. He must return to our country and to be hospitalized.
That is ridiculous. This is a hospital. Take care of him here.
Kochak is the one with the American accent. The doctor pulls rank on him. As the chairman's personal physician, she has autonomy in matters concerning his health. So there.
You had better hurry with your arrangements. We have not much time.
They realize that, but not the way she thinks.
What now?
We'll just have to make our move earlier than anticipated. Chairman must die.
As I said, remember he said he could trust them. Kolchak has a syringe in his pocket with a lethal dose of atropine in it. Nick and the others don't know any of this. All they know is Nick can't operate if Rodin is on a plane somewhere else.
Chairman Rodin can be in two places at once.
How?
That is, do you have your dermaplex with you?
Of course. Of course.
They need a diversion, and there's a lab on the second floor that works on experimental anesthetics. Daniel will sneak up there and find a cylinder of something strong enough to knock out the guards in the hall. Roll it up by them, open the valve, and watch the fun.
Dan?
Nick, open the window. Where are my pants?
You've been having trouble finding those lately, haven't you, sweetheart? What's going on out there?
The hallway's filling with sodium phenylpentothal 10.
But don't get caught in it yourself. They gather some clothes that should fit the chairman, plus Daniel's clothes, and they're almost ready to go.
What are we waiting for?
Shh, the guard.
What was that?
The guard.
That was a great gag. Now they're ready to go. Just make sure everybody holds their breath until they get to the chairman's room. While Nick starts applying the dermaplex, Kate is listening at the door.
Dan, the elevator.
They're gone.
It's their security.
I locked the door.
Nick has barely gotten started on the dermaplex, so scratch that idea. They cram the chairman into the clothes and put Daniel's mask on him. As for Daniel, sometimes low-tech rules.
Now, what are you doing? And why is his face wrapped in gauze?
Well, it's required. It's part of the pre-op for a sinus transplant.
It's vital to wrap the areas around the sinuses, to soften the tissues. The epidermal layer of the mucous membrane must be moisturized.
Don't you know that the Rotskin Spotskin is Motskin on the Plotskin? It's a good thing Kate speaks fluent medical baloney and they don't.
Did you drug the guards? It's an offense against the state. Assault on the chairman.
Well, no one would let us out. We had to drug them. Listen, if we operate when the membranes are dry, well, you can kiss the sinuses goodbye.
They have no idea what she just said, but it sounds bad. Okay then, back to the waiting room for these three.
Comrades, no more napping, huh?
They could have killed him. Do you think they were trying?
No. If I thought they were assassins, I would have let them do their job.
Daniel has to lie there while he prepares the syringe and gets ready to inject him with it. I hope he has a plan. Kolchak's plan is to blame Nick for overdosing the chairman and create a nice animosity between their country and the U.S. But before he administers the dose, like all little tin horn wannabe earthshakers, he has to make a speech.
I feel an odd sense of power standing over this old man, Vasil. I am about to change the destiny of the world. We will make history.
And if you take credit for it, you get a firing squad. That's why you're blaming the Americans, remember? You can't have it both ways.
Shall we inject him in the neck?
No. The arm will do just fine.
What has been going on around here?
Saved by the speech. If he had shut up and gotten on with it, the deed would be done by now. It's a good thing he's never watched American television, or he'd know that.
The Americans gave us a little scare with a bottle of anesthetic.
Why is his face wrapped in gauze?
Preparation for the surgery. They said it was vital.
He is not going to be operated on. Transportation is called. The plane has been made ready to fly.
Shall we have the bandages removed?
No. They will be a good disguise.
The gurney is here, and they're putting the chairman onto it.
Please be careful. He must be coming out of the sedation if he felt that.
More sedative.
No, he has had enough of that in the last few hours. Mr. Chairman, drink this. Sasha, please. It is just water.
After he drinks it, she explains to the others that it's water with the sedative properties of a triple vodka. Now, if he had the previous sedatives on board, he'd be out for hours, but he doesn't.
What happened?
Chairman Roger!
Sasha, come back!
Look out, the invisible man is drunk. As the old joke goes, it's a good thing he's driving because he's in no condition to walk.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe he's in no condition to do either. Let's revise that. It's a good thing he's driving something that doesn't go very fast. And at least he's a polite drunk. Now, what idiot moved that door? Kolchak has been telling the others there's no need to use force on the chairman. He isn't feeling well and the hallway is a dead end. He and Vasil, and only they, will gently but firmly go get him.
That way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As far as I can tell, she's uncredited, and that's too bad. She's making the gag work.
Impossible. Where did he go?
The guy who was in the bandages? There's a good chance he's standing right next to you, but you don't need to know that.
Have your men take the entire floor apart. Without his disguise, he won't go far. Go on, Vasil. We will give something to Dr. Stolov to do, because we must make sure that we find the chairman before she does.
Daniel knows the whole plan now. He just needs a way to let someone know what it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
She's a nurse. That's not even remotely the weirdest thing she's ever seen.
Hi, baby.
Dan!
Hi, baby.
Dan, you've been drinking.
Yeah, I've been drinking chlorhydrazine.
What?
Chlorodiazine. Great. It's a muscle relaxant.
He can barely stay awake, so maybe it's best to use the wheelchair again.
We're in luck. Some of the guards are leaving the floor.
Why?
They're looking for me. Tried to kill me.
Who?
Koshak and Vasil with a needle.
Korshak tried to kill you?
Yeah, with a needle.
They were probably trying to get at him. Rojan's right. Somebody wants him out. Now, we've got to get going. Our jailer's still outside.
Well, I'll take care of him.
I'll take care of him. Come on, put him up. Daniel, I haven't opened the door yet.
Get him in this chair.
I would love to learn how to do that. About 30 years ago.
What are you doing?
It's easier than carrying you.
Now, riding in that chair pretending to be unconscious, that I can do.
Where are you going? What's the matter with him?
The surgery, we're late.
Hey, it's the final episode. We can pull out a few tropes if we feel like it. What are they going to do? Cancel us?
Where are they?
Who?
Maggio and the other doctor.
They said something about surgery.
That sets up the final confrontation.
Do not touch him.
Get out of this room, Dr. Stoloff, now.
You will ruin him.
Kate.
No.
Oh!
Dan!
What's he doing in here?
Who?
And he's not even wearing a mask. He should know better.
Close the door.
Kosha, stop them.
All right, now where did you get him? And what are you trying to do?
What is this, some kind of circus?
I promised the chairman that I would perform this surgery.
And what kind of surgery, Doctor?
I can't tell you.
Dr. Stoloff knows, but she's not telling either. Different reasons, but the result is the same.
Seize him.
What are you doing?
I have reason to believe, Doctor, that you want the chairman dead.
If he did, why would he go to such elaborate lengths to do it? He's a doctor. He knows a dozen ways to stop a person's heart without a full surgical team.
You didn't want to
Cossack
me?
tried to kill Rodin. Excuse me.
You tried to kill the chairman.
What?
You tried to kill the chairman.
A syringe in his pocket.
Well, there's a syringe in his pocket.
Don't be ridiculous.
Let's test this on you and see what it does. How about it?
Atropine. A lethal dose.
Of course I carry it with me. For the chairman's protection. Tell them, Vasil. Vasil! Tell them!
Well, Vasil?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Vasil is out covering his butt. Please leave a message.
Seize him!
Don't move! So, you think you can betray me, comrade? Suddenly pull out? Things become difficult? Cowards never make history, Vasil.
He's still hung up on getting his place in the history books. Now, I already mentioned the fact that if the new government knows he killed the chairman, he is in deep trouble. But he seems to think he will be the new government.
You're all about to witness a great event. You're going to see the transfer of power from this weak, wrinkled, feeble old man to a strong, young coalition of comrades who shall lead the people of the Eastern Bloc to world dominance.
We all know what's going to happen. The only question is how long he's going to talk first.
The people of our country want youth, vitality. And I, Major Petro Korshak, shall give that to them.
Kosha, no!
Help me!
Okay, he didn't talk as long as I expected, but maybe we're getting short on runtime.
He was right. They look at the face instead of the mind.
May we proceed with the operation?
Whatever he wants.
I've learned something today.
Nick says, okay, everybody who isn't part of the surgical team, please get out. And that's the only thing I don't like about this sequence. He should let her scrub in if she wants to. So, what's new in the paper?
Here's a direct quote from Providence. Looking tan, refreshed, and 10 years younger, Chairman Rodin arrived home from 2 glorious weeks at a workers' health resort.
I wonder if I should visit one of those resorts. I'd want to know what's in the mud they use.
This put an end to the vicious rumors that the chairman's age was hindering his service to the country.
And listen to this. In sweeping changes of policy, Chairman Rodian today announced additional support for the UN, a reduction in arms shipments, and a pledge to release political prisoners.
That tells us he's a man of his word. He didn't have to do all that once his power base was reestablished, but he did. Now we know for sure that Nick did a good thing for the world.
Well, this one's more ominous. Major Petra Korshak and Vasil Brovnik, former aide and security chief to Chairman Rodian, will be tried next month on a variety of charges ranging from conspiracy to assassinate the chairman to illegal possession of drugs.
I tried to tell him, doesn't matter who's in charge, they tend to shoot assassins over there. So what kind of scene are we going out on?
Hey, Tommy, what do you think? You think Rodian's right? That it helps a leader to have a young-looking face?
Oh, I don't know, Walter.
You have been looking a little baggy under the eyes lately, Walter, darling.
Yes, of course, we could get Nick here within a week.
Yeah, we can get Nick to make you a dermaplex face. We go out on a nice joke at Walter's expense. I am sad to see this show end so soon. I don't know why it didn't catch on because it's good. The stories are diverse, the characters are delightful, and the effects are outstanding. It ran opposite the second season of Rhoda with Valerie Harper, and its only other competition was Barbary Coast, a drama starring William Shatner that didn't do any better and was canceled about the same time. Rhoda had a solid following, but there should have been plenty of viewers left for this one, so I don't know. Maybe the country just wasn't ready for what the show offered. It's impossible to say. But to the actors, directors, producers, and all the other ers that made this possible, thank you for what you gave us. David McCallum, of course, is still a television icon. Melinda Fee dropped the O in her official name and went on to be a successful character actress. She died at the age of 77 in 2020. Craig Stevens kept acting and making music for many more years and finally left us in 2000 at the age of 81. Lots of Invisible Man stuff has been done since this show was made, and once you've seen this one, it's easy to tell how many of them borrowed from this show's effects. It paved the way for even more effective green and blue screen effects that are used to this day. I'm not sure how many TV and movie viewers realize how much we owe this short-lived, fun show, but hopefully now a few more do know. Thank you for watching and going on this journey with me. I'll see you in the next TV Fails. Tells them something is up. Just enough and pushed Boris Yeltsin to power. Pushed board. Nick won't walk away because he promised Rodian he's doing. Good grief. I mean, it makes sense in a sort of run by with a lethal dose of atropine in it. Lethal. I can say lethal. It ran opposite the second season of Rhoda with Valerie Harper. Opposite the second season. At the age of 77 in 2020. Man! In 2020.